Alrighty, we are back for week 2 of Scott Trades. Um, Regression to the mean, we could say, this week because it was a losing week. So, and they will come and they will continue to come. The aim is try and win more on your winners than you lose on your losers. And I failed that miserably last week. So let's have a look at where we're at. So we were 6% up on the account. We are down to 8% below our original baseline. So it was a 14% loss last week of the total account. I am risking larger amounts relative to what I'd like to, just because I'm starting with a smaller account. But I'll take you through what happened last week. So our winner last week was Euro AUD. I think that was covered. I kind of said, I think if price can drop outside of this, it's got a chance to reject and bounce back up, which it did nicely. So that was a nice 2-to-1 risk reward. I actually accounted for additional entry here, which wasn't needed. So we didn't win quite as much. That could have potentially been a 20% account win, whereas it was only a 10% account win, really. Then we had USD CHF. So I took a first entry here on this support region with another buy here. And I kind of thought that it had legs to reject back up, in which case we would have at least made a 1R win, if not more. But what ended up happening was it carried on down and we got stopped out, which is part of the game. Final one was AUD CAD. So using the same logic, this would have been a really nice trade and quite a profitable trade, actually. I would have ended up winning, if I'd have let it run, yeah, like maybe 3R. So this is a bit frustrating that I didn't, but this is one of those where for some reason on the previous one, I accounted for an additional entry. I went in heavier on this trade. I guess I was more confident on it that it would reject. It didn't. It came up to the next support kind of resistance zone and then rejected. So if I'd have put my original plan into place, could have made a nice kind of 3R return on this trade, because we would have been about here. So, and as you can see, actually, I probably would have just left it there. But you win some, you lose some at the end of the day. So they were the positions from last week that caused me to be 14% down. I think it's just worth a quick run through this week. So there's nothing immediate here. I've set a buy limit down here. Again, I'm doing everything automated because it's quite difficult to be on top of this stuff when I'm working all day, every day. So USD CAD, we've got a sell set on Euro USD, which we will see if that can make its way up. I might have a look at taking an entry down here as well, as you can see here. But the risk reward structure yet, I'm not sure. There's obviously a big zone here. It might well be that I take an initial entry. I may add in down here, but we will see. I'm not quite determined on that yet, but I've kind of set a little alert line here. Yeah, this one's got a long way to go, but I think this has got a real chance if we can come up. I'd probably actually say, given the price action of last week and how far it moved down, I'd almost be tempted to put a sell up here. For the minute, I've got my first sell here, which is really, really conservative. Longer term, this is on an uptrend. So you can kind of see here, there's a few touch points here. So it wouldn't surprise me if it rejects off this when we find a little bit more price action coming off this region, but we'll have to see on that one. Euro AED, I think I look like I've got a little, so these are obviously done now. I think I've got a little support kind of trade here. So if price makes its way down, we'll maybe take an entry. I'm kind of thinking above this support zone. If price can get to around here, I'll take a sell as well. So we'll wait and play out, but I've got 2 alerts set for those scenarios, if in case they do happen. And then for these guys, I'm not seeing too much. I mean, I've set an alert here, and I think that this has got legs. I would potentially really stretch this entry just to get better risk reward, possibly something like that, just past that kind of support zone. This is where a lot of people will get stopped out, and I got stopped out last week using the same logic. So we'll see on that Euro CAD. So there's a few trading opportunities, but overall nothing super obvious or super close from the majors. In terms of the minors, I've got a buy limit here. I think that if we can get down here, it's got a real chance of like pulling back up. Where are we here? I've got a buy limit set. It was narrowly missed, which is a shame, because yeah, that would have been quite a nice little rebound. You basically, yeah, I would have already been out. So that would have been a nice 10% return on account, accounting for the fact that I've accounted for a second position. What are we saying here? This one, haven't really got anything yet, I don't think. I'm not sure why I've got that there. I can't see anything obvious, so I'm just going to move that down, take that off. Euro NZD, what are we saying here? Yeah, I think I've got a similar sort of level actually. I think if we can come back down towards here, I'd maybe be into buys, but we need to see what this price action's saying here. There's quite a big zone of potential. And then I don't think there's anything specific that I've seen. I haven't really checked all the markets, but if there's any updates from the next week, I will let you know. I'm kind of looking at here by the look of it. So we'll add that to, because I'm undecided yet, but we'll add that in. So yeah, let's see what this week lies. We are currently, as I said, 8% down on total account, and yeah, we will see indeed how the week plays out. But main learnings from last week were, I guess, position sizing is massive, because if you go in too heavy on a single position or too light on a single position, when it wins or loses, you don't make the most of it. So having a really structured idea of, okay, how much do we win if this plays out and how much do we lose? Because unfortunately, the scenario that played out was the 2 potential trades where I could have made more. One of them bounced straight off the zone, so I lost that additional entry money, and the other one rejected at my second potential entry, which I didn't take. So yeah, so whilst we're down, we could easily have made another 6 to 10% on our account last week. So I'm hoping that with a couple of more trades entered this week, again, we had 3 losers last week and 1 winner. So yeah, we'll see where we go. But I'm going to keep this short because I've got to go to work. So it's currently 5:58 in the morning. So I've just been starting my week, checking in on the markets and setting some stuff up. And yeah, this is very much just like a couple of times a week check-in approach. Again, working professional, trying to do a little bit because I find the market's interesting and something that I've always wanted to do. So it's as much a hobby as anything at the minute, but if I can make some money long term, then that's great. Hope you guys are good, and I will see you next week for a check-in.